Today's earthquake here on the East Coast was felt by many here in Rhode Island. The Pinpoint News Tracker shows you where it was centered about 500 miles away from Providence in Mineral, Virginia. But people in the mid-Atlantic states felt a pretty intense jolt this afternoon. It forced thousands of people into city streets as buildings were evacuated from D.C. to New York City. And many people were keeping the world posted via social media. Joining us with more on the impact of social media is WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi. Ted, it is part of your job to monitor social networking sites. When this happened, what did you notice first?
Well, Aaron, the quake struck at 1:51 p.m. and that's the height of the workday. A lot of people were at their computers, had their phones, and I noticed that I was in a meeting and I looked down at Twitter and started to see some strange messages from people in Providence. One person said, "Our building is shaking. I'm not sure what that means or what we should do." And then a minute later, you had someone say, "Earthquake in Providence. State House shook like mad." And then within a minute or two, you had the confirmation from the Geological Survey that there had been a quake and we had felt it, and there was off to the races with people after that.
Right, and so when people did realize after it had been confirmed that it was an earthquake, what changed? What did you see then?
You sort of saw astonishment. There were first a lot of reports of evacuations, people getting out. We had a picture posted of the State House, which was evacuated for almost an hour, and then, or I believe actually over an hour. It was sort of reminiscent of when those tornadoes hit in Western Mass earlier this year, where you saw people sort of incredulous that this kind of weather would be happening here. People called it strange and creepy. The higher up people were, the more scared they seemed to be by it. Many people thought they were getting sick or dizzy until someone else said, "Did you feel that?"
I thought I was crazy.
I know you said that when you got into the news.
And now several of those agencies are reaching out to people via social media sites. They want to give people information, but they also want to get some information back. Tell us about that.
That's right. We had a seismogram image put up, very striking, from the Boston College Observatory, which tracks this part of the country. You can see most days you see straight lines on those. This had a huge jump there. You also saw a map was posted by the Geological Survey asking people, did you feel it? Did you feel the survey? And we have a link to that on WPRI.com in our earthquake tremors story, and you can fill out the survey and tell them if you felt it. Providence also posts information in other cities and towns for people to check for electrical damage and things like that, though that doesn't seem to have been a problem.
All right, and we do have all of this on our website too in case people want to see this again. But also you were noticing tweets coming from as far away as the West Coast.
That's right. Some of the reaction was kind of funny, I think partly because luckily there wasn't a lot of damage. One of the funnier ones was Dave Navarro from the band Jane's Addiction, actually. He lives in California, and he said, "In LA, we rock our babies to sleep at a 6.3 magnitude. This was nothing, New York. Settle down now." So people on the West Coast thought maybe a little overreaction here on the East Coast.
It's all relative, I'm sure. All right, WPRI.com reporter Ted Nesi, thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks, Aaron.
And be sure to count on Eyewitness